Sandra had always imagined marriage as a partnership of equals. She had pictured evenings filled with laughter, intimate conversations with her husband, and the quiet joy of building a life together. But reality, she quickly discovered, was far more suffocating than she could have anticipated. From the moment she stepped into her new home in Lekki, Lagos, there was a subtle tension in the air, almost tangible, like a shadow that hovered over every corner. It was Marcus's mother, Mama Angela, whose smiles could charm anyone, yet whose gaze carried the weight of judgment. At first, Sandra brushed it off. Typical mother-in-law behavior, she whispered to herself. But small annoyances grew into patterns impossible to ignore. Meals subtly criticized, clothes she picked for Marcus commented on, and quiet interruptions whenever she tried to speak to him privately.
One quiet evening, after another subtle critique during dinner, Sandra finally confronted him. Marcus, I feel like I can't even have a moment alone with you. Your mother, she paused, frustration bubbling to the surface. She's everywhere. Marcus reached for her hand, a gentle smile on his face, but his eyes betrayed hesitation. Sandra, you're imagining things. Mama Angela loves me. She's just protective. It's more than that, Sandra insisted. It's like she wants to control everything. Your time, your thoughts. Me! Marcus's jaw tightened. There was a shadow of guilt in his eyes he couldn't voice. She's been through a lot. She lost my father when I was young. She's just attached. Sandra frowned. It was bigger than she imagined.
It didn't take long for Sandra to notice the secretive closeness between Marcus and his mother. They had moments that were theirs alone, moments that excluded her entirely. Weekend trips, long phone conversations, inside jokes, and playful memories from his childhood that left her feeling invisible. One Sunday, Sandra followed them discreetly, curiosity tinged with unease. They arrived at a quiet cafe by the lagoon. Marcus laughed heartily at a story Mama Angela told, his eyes sparkling with childlike joy. She smiled, teasing him about old adventures, reminding him of forgotten memories. Sandra's chest tightened. She felt the weight of exclusion in every gesture. Back home, she noticed subtle signs of manipulation. Decisions hedged with, "I should ask my mother first," hesitation over minor choices, and the faint but constant deference in Marcus' behavior. It wasn't just affection. It was a meticulously constructed emotional tether. The days stretched into weeks. Sandra's frustration grew as she watched them share laughter, plan outings, and reminisce over memories that she had no part in. Every secretive call, sudden trip, and playful routine added to the growing tension. One afternoon, driven by a mix of suspicion and dread, Sandra decided to examine Marcus's study. She found a hidden drawer containing photo albums, an old diary, and his laptop. The photo albums chronicled trips, playful moments, and exclusive bonding between mother and son. Smiles frozen in time, laughter captured forever, always a little world without Sandra. The diary was a revelation. Mama Angela's private thoughts spilled across pages. Fears of being alone, guilt over Marcus's father's death, and anxiety about losing his son emotionally. Every word screamed attachment, not in simple affection, but in deep possessive dependence.
On the laptop, she found text messages and emails where Mama Angela subtly guided Marcus's decisions, expressed frustration at him forming attachments, and insisted on keeping him tethered emotionally. Sandra felt a surge of anger, sorrow, and fear. This wasn't just love, it was control wrapped in nostalgia, care, and relentless vigilance. The tension escalated one evening when Sandra arrived home early, hoping to surprise Marcus with a special dinner. Instead, She found him laughing and planning a secret day out with Mama Angela, reminiscing about childhood memories, joking and enjoying a closeness she had never imagined. Her chest tightened. She hadn't imagined it. He was enjoying exclusive moments with his mother, and she was completely excluded.
The next weeks saw a delicate, painful balance. Sandra tried patience, trying to include Mama Angela in small ways, but the older woman's world revolved entirely around her son. Marcus's loyalty was torn, pulled between the wife he loved and the mother who had raised him alone. Arguments became frequent, each ending with silence, sighs, and emotional exhaustion. Sandra documented everything: secret trips, phone calls, playful routines. Each revelation was a twist in an already tense narrative, deepening the suspense and emotional intensity. Eventually, confrontation was unavoidable. One evening, Sandra laid out everything she had discovered: the diary, the photo albums, and the laptop messages. "Marcus, we can't keep living like this," she said, voice trembling. "Your mother's hold over you, it's killing us."
Marcus's eyes were haunted. "Sandra, I love you. I always will, but I've never known how to let her go. She's been my world." Hours passed in tears, silence, and tension. Mama Angela watched, her face a mask of grief, confusion, and fear. Eventually, Marcus made his choice. He would live his life with Sandra, establishing boundaries with his mother. Sandra tried patience, slowly including Mama Angela in small ways, but the older woman's world had always revolved around her son. Months later, Mama Angela sat alone in the now empty house. Marcus and Sandra had moved to another city. The walls echoed with memories of laughter, playful secrets, and daily routines she had once dominated. Photo albums lay scattered across the floor. She whispered, "He's all I had, and now he's gone." The days bled into weeks. Friends and relatives reached out, but she declined. Her house was silent except for the ticking clock and distant city sounds. She grew frail, consumed by grief, obsession, and loneliness. She wandered through the rooms, touching the remnants of her carefully constructed control: photo albums, souvenirs, the faint scent of old furniture. Each item reminded her of a life she had orchestrated, of a son she had raised to be dependent on her, and of a world that had moved on without her. As weeks turned to months, Mama Angela's isolation deepened. She refused visitors, avoided calls, and spent her days revisiting old memories. Her health began to fail quietly, unnoticed by the outside world.
One evening, after another day filled with silence and solitude, she lay down on her bed, surrounded by photographs of the past and the diaries she had poured herself into for decades. Exhausted by grief, obsession, and loneliness, her eyes closed. When morning came, Mama Angela had passed away quietly in her sleep. The house remained still, haunted by the echoes of her life: laughter, secrets, control, and obsession. Marcus and Sandra would return later, unaware of the exact moment she had passed. They found her peacefully, yet the emptiness she had carried throughout her life remained palpable. The story ends on a chilling, somber note, a dark reminder of the consequences of obsession, control, and emotional overdependence. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.